All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Office Hours with Arbitrage, Season 3, Episode 8. It's a great day to be on Twitch and Zoom and RocketChat and all those other fun places that people are checking us out from. I have Christian Beckman joining me. He's a user of the Numerai tournament. What's your best rank now? You've been climbing lately.
Yes, currently I'm at 72, I think. Let me check.
Okay.
So yeah, I have two models in the top 100 currently. Yeah,
Oh,
it's 72 with B3 CK1
okay.
and 98 with BCB. That's my other model. So
Nice. Yeah, the tournament's been kind of wild lately. So anybody that's in the top 100 or has climbed there very recently is doing something pretty good, because my main model Arbitrage went from top 10 for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's now ranked 407.
ouch.
So I think it's the top of the leaderboard curse, because what goes up must come down.
Yeah, I guess the best place I had was 26. And then I was beaten really hard by the last scores.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I was down, also down into the 400 something, and now slowly going up again.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it's some kind of regime change occurred. It's been talked about before. So you want to get into it? You want to start doing some interview questions if you're ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Hey, great. Thanks. So first, let's start with, where in the world are you, sir?
Okay, so I'm living in Germany and in a small town called Messel. It's only 4,000, bit less than 4,000 people here, with a lot of green around. So as we are currently again in a small lockdown, it's good to go outside, take some fresh air, and go back
Right.
to work again.
Yeah, no doubt. So what is it that you do for a living?
I'm working as a data scientist
Okay.
at Deutsche Telekom. That's a big telecommunication provider here in Germany and Europe. And for example, owning T-Mobile US. So that's the brand in the
Ah,
US.
okay. Okay. I got it. What is your specialty there, if you don't mind me asking?
So normally I'm working in projects where it's about recommendation engines.
Ooh, cool.
So in the last project I did some deep learning on graph databases. Um, and in the current project, it's more data focused. So I'm currently building a feature store that's a component in a training pipeline where you store pre-computed features so that different teams can use them for developing models. So you have more consistent and reliable results between teams.
I don't know if you know this, and it's okay if you don't know. I'm just curious. How many data scientists does your company employ?
That's actually hard to say. So in
I
my
thought it would be.
so in my department, which is let's say innovation department, we are around 30 people, so not
Okay.
that much.
I think
But
that's a pretty big team, personally, and that's just one division. We don't know how many others there are. There could be some in the engineering department and stuff like that.
yeah, so in the subsidiaries, each NetCo has its own teams of data scientists. So it's hard to say
Yeah.
how much there are.
Wow. So it's a large corporation. I guess that's really what I was trying to get at. What compelled you to pursue your current job?
In fact, I'm only working in that field since 2016.
Okay.
And at that point, I was a product owner. So we were working in Scrum mode, and I was able to join an AI-related project for the first time in a non-technical role. And was really fascinating what you can do with all that stuff and what computers can do if you know how to train them. And then I did really some heavy studying in my free time to know how to do such stuff. And by the end of 2017, I was building the first prototype of a recommendation system for movie recommendations. So
Wow.
Deutsche Telekom has IP-based TV service, so we have a lot of content there.
Mhm.
And because of that, I was able to go to a next project where I was then working in a role as a machine learning engineer. And later that year, in 2018, we had a restructuring within our company, where they threw away all the hierarchies we had so far, and you had to apply. Everyone had to apply to the new jobs, so
Yikes.
internally. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, so at that point, on my contract there was still the product owner, and I had the choice either to go back into that and do what I did before, or to get kind of all in and only apply for data science job, and that was what I did. And because of what I did in the last year and a half, they said, okay, it looks good. You can now be officially a data scientist and work in that area. And so the restructuring was really good for me.
Well, sounds like it. Also sounds a little hairy. Could have been dangerous, but good. I'm glad it worked out for you. That's an interesting path. And there's a theme I've noticed among a lot of people is that there's a lot of self-learning going on. Few
that's
people
right.
have formally trained just for data science. So, I think that's important for people to realize. This isn't like you have to go out and study data science. You can learn it yourself. Just you got to work hard, right?
Yeah, definitely. So currently we are have an internal reskilling program where people from the company who have worked in different fields can be retrained for 1 year full time
Wow.
for data scientist role, and can after that can work as a junior data scientist in the company and the project.
That's pretty amazing. So they'll do that for a full year. That's very, very good. I haven't heard of a company doing that, but it makes sense. Train your own folks.
Yeah, right.
Keep
So
them
because
loyal.
it's hard to get external
Oh yeah,
people.
absolutely. The number of jobs for data science is extremely high, and the information asymmetry between applicants and the people who want to hire is extremely high as well. So, that's why I like to talk about this stuff to motivate people to stick around and learn. So, I kind of have a clue because it keeps. You have a Casper ghost next to you, but what do you do for fun?
What I do for fun is well, programming. So doing stuff like Numerai or algorithmic trading.
Okay.
So for example, in 2017, I had a software which was trading cryptocurrencies. I stopped that after I had to explain to the tax office what I'm doing there. That was not funny to
Oh,
get them to explain them what I'm doing.
yeah. I
Okay,
see a
but
guitar behind you.
sorry.
Your guitar keeps popping in the frame.
Oh yeah, I used to make a lot music in my
Mhm.
free time, but did that for a while. I didn't do that for a while. So, but I'm playing guitar or drums, bass guitar, so stuff like that.
Nice, cool. So we got a musician. A few of us do photography, so that's cool. See, we're not all just super nerds. We're mostly super nerds. What am I saying? But hey, it's all good. But you program for fun. So tell me what beyond Numerai, because we all know how fun it is. What other types of coding projects do you find fun?
So, for example, I have open sourced a concept for a reinforcement learning agent to training for trading. So
Oh wow.
so that's available in my GitHub repository. So that's the kind of fun stuff I do.
Wow.
And other than programming, I also like playing computer games. For,
Okay.
played Diablo, for example, for quite a while.
Ah, yes. I did too for a long time there.
Uh, and if I want to
Stone of
take a break,
Jordan runs.
if I want to take a break from all the technical stuff, I'm brewing my own beer.
Ah, very nice.
That's really, really Nice. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I just do the espresso, but that's not really. I'm not like brewing it. I'm just making it. But that's fun. So this is interesting. On a scale of 1 to 10, how weird are you?
How weird I am. Well, I guess I'm a quite normal guy, so I would take the middle of 5, maybe 6 because of some, yeah, ticks or whatever.
We're all
But
weird, man.
yeah,
So it makes us human. Can't all be the same. That would be boring. I think weird is a good quality. So you're going with 6. All right. Everybody's pretty bashful on the weird scale. So far, we don't have a whole lot of weirdness going around. Christian, what are you not very good at?
what I'm not very good at. Normally, I'm not very good at what we are doing now. So when normally I'm a person who's normally not. I don't like to be some kind of in the spotlight, you know. So
my bad.
no, normally I'm more the guy to be in the background and doing stuff, and yeah.
I felt that way until I started teaching, and then I kind of got over it. I used to get real nervous when I would do public speaking, but now it's just kind of I find it fun. But what makes it fun to me is the interchange. So I don't want to just get up there and talk. You know, that's why in some of the daily scores and chill, it's like, gosh, people, come on, say something. If I have that back and forth, to me, that's fun, and I forget that I'm in front of people. Then I'm just I'm conversating. Very Southern term for you, conversating with people. So you're not very good at being in the spotlight, but you are a musician. So we're gonna call you weird because of that. But here's a fun question: if you could have a billboard with anything on it, what would it be and why?
So what I would have on it would be a quote from Francis of Assisi, which goes, start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So that's because I believe that people can achieve whatever they want if they first go step by step.
Right.
And second, always learn by doing and learn from your failures.
Right.
And
I agree completely.
don't stop.
Yeah, don't stop. A daunting task can be broken down into many, many, many small steps. And there's a saying about that too. How do you eat an elephant? And that's one bite at a time.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat an elephant, though. I imagine it's very chewy. But I digress. And yeah, don't quit. If you never fail, then I think you're just lucky. And so you have to celebrate the failures. And I think that's a cultural thing that we need to move toward, because it seems like people don't want to fail. I embrace it. When I get an error code or whatever, I think it's a good thing, because that means I'm going to learn something from it. You know,
yeah. In fact,
why did I have an error? Now let me fix it. And in the process of fixing it, I probably learned something new. So
yeah. So people who are telling you that they never fail, they just lie, because all of us fail.
Everybody fails.
And
it should be celebrated. I really think that.
Yeah. There's a second quote which fits to that. It's from Thomas Edison, who said, I have not failed. I have only found 100 ways that do not work.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's highly applicable. I completely agree. So let's talk a bit about Numerai. When did you start participating?
So my account was created on 1st February in 2017. So it was quite
a while,
some days ago.
Good. You're almost an OG.
Sorry?
You're almost an OG, an original gangster.
Yeah. So so started quite early. Took part in a few rounds, and also was received some Numerai during the airdrop.
Okay.
That, by the way, was my entry to trading cryptocurrencies. I used that for to start trading, but then quit Numerai for a while, and only came back this year in, I think it was beginning of May, when we had the first lockdown here in Germany.
Yeah.
Then I rejoined.
So how did you originally find out about Numerai?
That was in the time when I was learning about machine learning and deep learning, and I was searching for something like Kaggle.
Right.
So and then I stumbled across Numerai.
Okay, so in your search for a project, you found Numerai. Probably was attracted to the fact that it was a clean data set, if I were to guess.
Yeah, that was one thing, but and also the other thing was now that I can do stuff with machine learning, how can I maybe use that to earn some additional money?
There it
Because
is.
at that point I was still working as a product owner, so non-technical. And how do I get first? Yeah, how do I
That's
get my
great.
hands dirty and first projects?
That's fantastic. It resembles my path. You know, I didn't really have any coding experience, and that's what got me into coding. And now look at me. So a complete noob still, but I digress. In fact, you've helped me solve quite a few problems in the data science channel, so thank you. By the way, if you want to be a guest on Office Hours Arbitrage, the best way to do it is to be a good community member. And Christian's an example of that. If you have a question, oftentimes he's one of the people that will answer your question either with a complete code snippet. In my case, he hooked me up with a Selenium script and I was able to make it work, or just by being an all-around good person. So thank you, sir, for your participation. But let's get back to Numerai. What do you wish you had known when you started out? Maybe in this most recent time frame, since you came back.
So I guess what I started doing quite late was really participating in the community. So at first I tried to do things on my own and did not read that much or participate that much in the community because I didn't know how valuable the feedback is that you get there and the information that you get there from the other community members, and that's really cool. So this spirit of helping each other and discussing ideas and stuff is really, really cool.
And it's unique, I think, in the machine learning competition world, because oftentimes you don't want to help people along because it kills your edge on the prize leaderboard. But since everybody can earn and burn equally, it does separate us from the crowd. So yeah, I completely agree with you there. So you wish you had known that the community was as good as it is. So
Yeah.
we probably need to tell people that. I agree. Hey, by the way, you signed up. Welcome. Come straight to RocketChat. After you read the documentation. Always read the documentation first. Thank you. You quit the tournament. So this one I think you may have a good answer for. What do you think is the number one reason people quit?
So I guess the number one reason is maybe they are too impatient. I guess that was my reason to quit the first for the first time. Then maybe burns when people start to see that there are also some rounds where you really lose some of your numerais you staked. That might also be some kind of
nobody wants to lose money. Yeah. How do we get them to stick around?
How do we get them to stick around? So at first, which also refers to my number one feature request, make staking and still stake handling easier. So I guess first, there's some hurdle to people who are not familiar with cryptocurrencies to really get a Numerai for the stake. That's still an issue. So I talked to another data science I'm working with about Numerai, and he didn't know how to start and how to get Numerai to get his stake done. And the second part is, I guess, if it would be easier to withdraw the stake or to get the payouts not only compounded but paid out to the wallet, it would also be much of a motivation to stick to the tournament. So we have some kind of, well, say, steady income from that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and good thing Slyfox said he's putting that higher up on the priority list this quarter. So I hope he's on, and I hope he heard that. Thank you very much. Tell me, this is probably, arguably, the best part of the interview for a lot of folks. What are your top 3 tips for the tournament?
So the top tips are, well, first, what I already said, listen to the community. So there's a lot of stuff there, a lot of good resources that you can use to build your own models. Then keep track of your experiments. Don't
Take
mess
notes.
Take notes, yeah.
Yep.
Don't mess up your models. I did that quite a few times, I think.
Yeah.
And third part is try to automate as much as possible or as much as you want to. So for example, I automated everything up to a point where the submission files are ready, but I want to do the uploading manually to make sure everything works. So I'm not yet trusting the API enough to do that by automation.
Say that last one more time. I was trying to get the Slido sorted out. I completely missed it. I'm a terrible multitasker.
So the last point was about automation. So
compute. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm the generation of the files is automated, but right. I do the uploading still manually because I want to make sure that it works.
Well, the emails that they send out now are pretty convenient, I just got to say. So it'll say your submissions are now, you submit your stuff now, and then after your compute sends all the models in, you get an email that says you have a compute success. So unless your pipeline takes like 36 hours or something, where it's coming close to the deadline, I would try it and just let it ride, because it is working fine as long as everything works on your pipelining. So that would be my recommendation to you. That way you don't have to babysit it. Now, I'm actually babysitting it myself because of the feature neutralization. I haven't had time to integrate it into my prediction pipeline, but I have to wait for my compute to finish before I do it. It's because otherwise it'll override everything I'm doing. So thank you for that. Yeah, take notes, use compute as best you can, and check out all the resources that are available. And I think we're pushing out a lot of content lately between what's going on with office hours and Twitch tutorials and all the other stuff going on, the team putting out notebooks and things like that. So there's just so much to try that I hope people can keep up, honestly, but I think it's going pretty good. Yeah, try to make your life as easy as possible. Once you have a model that you're going to deploy into production, put it in compute so you don't have to think about it.
You said you do recommender systems at work, which have traditionally used things like matrix factorization, collaborative filtering. Do you use any, or I don't know if those are old-fashioned at this point, do you use anything like that? Also, specifically learning to rank kind of stuff. Do you use that at work, those kind of things? And do you apply those at all to Numerai, or is that not applicable?
So what I did there was mainly NLP-based, natural language processing, because we had a lot of text stuff with descriptions, titles, the cast of the TV shows or movies and stuff like that. We did some ranking based on that, on similarity. And in addition, we had some kind of image similarity algorithm, which would take into account. So if you have for example a movie that was shown in the cinema, you have these posters or images for this movie, which normally shows the characteristics of the film, and you can use that to get more features from that. For example, is it a real film? Is it animated? Is it more action-based, stuff like that? That's all something you can more or less see on the poster. You can this kind of characteristics you can compare with other films, and so you can do ranking based on that. And that was the approaches we had there.
Cool.
Does anything you do at work carry over to Numerai data science?
No, currently not really.
Well, it sounds like learning to rank is similar to what you're doing with the recommender system. I think that's probably where Muse was trying to get you to fess up, but it depends. If you don't think it applies to Numerai, then you won't try it.
So what we did there was mostly cosine similarity. That's yeah.
Yeah.
I actually tried matrix factorization to fill in Numerai predictions, and I didn't expect it to work at all. It sort of worked. I mean, it was probably on par with just a linear model, but it actually made results that weren't super terrible. So it was interesting.
Hey, Christian, I got a follow up on the top 3 tips. What's your #1 feature request or improvement for the tournament?
As I said, the stake handling.
Okay.
That's really a pain point because, for example, I currently have 4 staked models.
Right.
And I will not add more before this is solved, because it takes 5 weeks to get stake from one model to another, because you have to withdraw the stake, 4 weeks, and then another 1 week to add it again. And sorry, but that sucks. Sorry.
No, you're on point with that. There's can be controversial. I think it's just kind of fun. Who's your favorite team member?
Well, I thought a lot about that, and I choose Michael Oliver.
Oh,
because of his contribution and discussions in the data channel, for example. I like that a lot, his input and his comments. So yeah.
No, he's definitely a good team member, and it's helpful that he's a tournament participant because he gets it. And yeah, I agree. He's a great team member. So we got to vote for Michael Oliver. I'm still pretty sure NJ's leading this season, and there's only a few episodes left to fill this in. So I'm just saying we gotta be careful here. So how about this one? You said Michael Oliver. It may be correlated here, but where do you get new ideas for your models?
Well, from the community, that's one source, but also I really read a lot of AI and deep learning related articles, newsletters, and books. So I try to also maybe if I to transfer ideas from other areas over to what we do here. And for example, there was one of the books that was described how you can use autoencoders for trading and stuff, and that's what I'm currently working on to try to use that at Numerai. And I had some first results lately and uploaded some test models unstaked, just to see in the next rounds how these models are doing.
Okay, great. Cool. So that's what you're working on now. That would be my next question. What are you working on now? That's what it is. So the ideas that you get and stuff you read, you try to implement.
Yeah, right. And currently trying to prepare myself for participating in signals.
Okay, you're going to tool up for that.
Yeah, so I'm currently reading a book to get a bit more into where to get data and how to get the right, let's say, pipeline working to really extract the signals and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's that is a big opportunity, and we'll talk a little bit more about that because some big news came out today, and I wanted to touch base on that. We'll get there. Hold that thought. You'll be around for that. So let's talk a bit more about data science, because I like to help the newbies out. They're close to my heart because I was a newbie. I still think I am a newbie in a lot of ways. But what advice would you give to someone who wants to become a data scientist?
The most important part is what I think is get your hands dirty. So really, so while you're reading or the learning stuff, so there are a lot of resources out there that you can use to read about data science, machine learning, and so on. And I think the only way to really learn is to choose projects for you, to find topics that interest you, problems that you want to solve, and just do it.
Yep.
And and after you have done it, show it to others. So build a kind of portfolio which you can show afterwards, because that is how other people can see that you're really capable of solving problems. And that's the key for data science and machine learning, to solve problems.
Right. No, that's really good advice. Have a portfolio. A lot of people, I tell people your tournament results are your portfolio, but you're right. The actual product doesn't have to be tournament results. It can be the pipeline you built to analyze your tournament results, or like AI Joe's dashboard or Cunan's app. Those are work product, and they're still related to the tournament, and then you still have participation points. So, and you can stake them, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, no, that's good advice. I like it. So I may have missed some stuff, but if you could step into my shoes, what would you ask yourself that I haven't already?
Yeah, that was a question I was thinking about long.
It's just a chance to promote yourself if you want.
That's
That's really what it is.
Actually, I came up with who do you want to meet? Because
cool. Now you have to answer it.
Yeah, so lately I was reading a lot about Andrew Ng, deep learning AI, and also what I like about Andrew is this. On the one hand, he has done a lot for educating people, and deep learning AI, also for building a community to excite people for the topic of machine learning and deep learning. And on the other hand, he has some really great insights on the intersection of machine learning, deep learning, and business. Because what I still see a lot is that some companies say, "Oh, we have to do something with AI," and then throw a team of data scientists or machine learning engineers at data, and hope that something comes out magically that they will earn money with, and it doesn't work that way.
Magic internet money.
Yeah, and it only works if you really have the connection to the business and really solve problems for the customer. Otherwise, you can work with your data as much as you want. If it doesn't generate any benefit for customers or for users, you won't get any results of that.
Do you have any book or paper recommendations for the folks?
Yeah, so I have 2 book recommendations. The first one is Grokking Deep Learning from Andrew Trask. That's a really cool book for beginners in the field of deep learning, because what I like there is the way how he explains things. So he goes from using pure Python to next step using NumPy, and then going deeper into the topic, and I really like that. And the second one is a book I'm currently reading to prepare for signals. It's Machine Learning for Algorithmic Trading by Stephen Jansen, which is a really cool book, which covers a lot of topics in that field. So from where do you get your data? How do you create signals? What are the different algorithms you can use there? And what is a pipeline you can use? How do you do back testing and stuff? So that's, I think, a pretty cool book for that reason. So
awesome.
for preparing for signals, yeah.
That's pretty dope. Hey, thanks a lot for going through that with us. So yeah, we've got some Slido questions. So Jeremy Barros has the first question, and it's actually a statement, which is cool. Jeremy says, first off, congrats, Beck, on your last 4 rounds, staying in the 97% plus quantile for both correlation and MMC.
Yeah, so that other round I changed to the fully neutralized models. So in fact, they're doing quite well.
Yeah, I'm very glad I neutralized in the past 2 rounds. That worked out pretty well. Oh, we have a submission file switch going on. Mike P switched his submission file to Richard because that's who's on Mike P's Zoom. Mike P says, also, you got mail. Check your email. Do it now. All right. I'll play. Hold on. Starting for round 238, opening on November 14th, the official target will be Nomi. Boy, today's a busy news day. Breaking news on office hours of arbitrage. Again, second breaking news. The official tournament data will be Nomi, and live predictions will be scored and paid out using Nomi. That's round 238, November 14th. Going straight to the point. I believe this question is for Christian. Going straight to the point. Are you team tree-based or team neural net or some other?
Well, in fact, I started with tree-based models based on the example, and switched to TensorFlow-based models. So my latest models are all based on TensorFlow, and some custom loss function and yeah, the neutralization stuff that's been in the forums. So yeah. So was first was tree, no neural nets.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
That's actually a movie quote. I wonder if anybody knows what that came from. So then there's an extension to that question. What can you tell us about your approach to address the Numerai competition?
What I did was just yeah, kind of fiddling around with neural nets to find a model, a layout that works. And I guess if you go one step further and really use custom loss, you get better results. Because I first was using MMC, so mean squared error, but later switched to something called Huber loss, which is a kind of, well, in between of the MSE and the absolute loss. Because and after that switched to the loss which was posted on was in the forum, was it on RocketChat? I don't know. We discussed the custom loss function there somewhere.
Yeah, that was a forum post. Actually, Michael Oliver made that one, and it was using PyTorch for custom objectives. So that is in the forum.
And a few days ago, we had a discussion in the RocketChat, I think. So
yeah, I can't keep up with RocketChat anymore. I got too much other stuff going on. But I try to keep up with the forum because that seems to be a little more stable. But yeah. So last question, Slido, and then we have a Zoom question. This one's for Joachim. Are we currently in an earn or a burn period? You know, this is an interesting question, and I'm glad you asked it because I've changed a lot of my models. I'm actually becoming ambivalent if we're in an earn or a burn because I have models that perform well in burn rounds and have models that perform well in earn. And the last thing that I want is something that's kind of flat and not very easy. How about like the good time stuff that Border used to talk about? Like if we have too long of a run where it's sort of easy, but it's not like hitting it out of the park, I actually get negative MMC and it's not good for me. And so as for are we in an earn or a burn period, if we say, is this relative to integration test, then I would say that we're in a burn period.
Okay.
If you neutralize integration test, then it's not so bad of a burn period. Right. So that now this becomes a relative question. So I think we're evolving as a community in terms of how we talk about this stuff. But if you look at the distribution of performance, I don't know because we don't really have a whole lot of data, but we'll see. It depends on, I guess, the overwhelming majority. If most people burn, then I would call it a burn round. But for my models, I would say that I don't care anymore. I want volatility, damn it. Like a real stock trader. I don't just move, like poke it, move.
I think you're gonna get some next week.
Some vol, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That will be interesting.
Correlations on sectors are very high right now. There's 80% correlation with sectors. That's not good for quant models usually. But let's see. We'll see. So are we currently in an earn or a burn period? I'm going to go with burn. That's my vote. What about you, Christian? What do you think?
So currently the neutralized models do really, really, really well. So I have scores I guess I never had before like that. So for me, it's an earn period. So definitely. But I saw that, for example, my Nomi model was dropping in this round, in the last round. So there seems to be something going on, but the old models were quite stable.
Yeah, I mean, my arbitrage model is horrendous. You know, what's good is now bad. Such is life. It's my namesake model, so it hurts a lot. It hurts my pride very much, but I don't really care because I have other models that do very well right now, or well. Thomas Motz had a question in Zoom chat. Let me just pull that up. Christian, what type of cross-validation do you use? What do your train and validation sets look like? If you're willing to share, of course, you don't have to say anything.
Actually, I stick to the split that is within the file. So I train on what is marked as train and validate on what is marked as validation. I do that with, generally I train my models with a strong regularization because what I see is that it's really hard to train the model in a way that the training and validation keep the same level. So it's you very fast tend to overfit there,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I really train only on the training stuff.
My
data.
best models currently do not look at validation. There's a continuation to this. Thomas says, I find that it's easy to overfit with deep learning, and I'm trying to explore new validation methods. Well, there's a lot of different ways to validate, and I probably should do a whole episode just on that. I would just say, check out the forum, Thomas, and look through some of the posts there, because I think Michael Oliver does something about time series aware cross-validation, and there's lots of other ways to do it too. And check some of the notebooks that are in either the team's GitHub or mine for the Twitch GitHub. Thank you all so much. Have a great week. I'll see you in RocketChat, Twitter, and everywhere else.